Beautiful Saturday, and of course, games have been over the weeks. And yesterday, the good thing it's one of our first, of course, we can say first ticket. Went through whereby we had lengths, of course, inclusive Genoa, and of course, F20, whereby we expected F20 to score at least one goal, but of course they ended up scoring more than that, and the game ended draw, but which was okay for us. But the second ticket of our game did not go as a plan because we failed. Den Hag still disappointed us, and this is not the first time this very team is actually disappointing us. So we need just to avoid them. Yes, for sometimes, and we see how the teams, of course, fix up their messes around because they're losing home and away, which is very difficult to actually predict that this team can win because they conceded 4 goals at home. Yes, which is very alarming. But we said winners never quit. We shall continue with our predictions today. And of course, we got many games coming up. Chelsea, Arsenal, and of course, the Premier League continues as we wait and see what transpire over the other week. And after next week, when we have got other games that are available and others tomorrow, we shall also continue. So let's go straight and start because we got two slips here. And of course, the first one is Leeds versus Arsenal. And of course, we know that Arsenal got beaten. That one, we are still aware of it. However, in Champion League of recent, of course, they bet Caritas, of course, 3-2, which was even still a tricky one for them. No one expected that team to score at least 2 goals against Arsenal. But, of course, Arsenal ended up conceding those 2 goals, which was not good, including their own goals for them. So, Arsenal and Leeds, of course, in the last 5 games, they won 3, draw 1, and lost 1. That one was against Manchester United. And Leeds as well, of course, won 2, draw 2, lost 1 in the last 5 games. And Arsenal sit on the second position as you look at how they rather they sit on the first position. I beg the Arsenal fan, just know that you are leading the top of the table. But any slight mistake from Leeds would actually give a big gap for Manchester City to live strong and create a gap of only 1 actually point. So I'm not saying Leeds is going to actually humiliate Arsenal, but let's see how things will go. Remember when Arsenal played Leeds last, of course, just the other year, the first leg, Arsenal bet Leeds 5-0. That is where Gyökeres managed to actually score his beautiful goals from there to go, so which was good for him as he joined Premier League. But things are still not moving very, very well as we expected from him this very season. But I'm not specifically talking about Arsenal, I'm talking about the games and Leeds as well. So Leeds also, you are aware that there's that draw that they pick against Everton. Actually, people were expecting Everton to beat Leeds, but Leeds is a team that you need not to doubt, or you need not to just say, this is a mid-table team. Leeds sit on the 16 positions, and avoiding relegation, so it would be a dangerous one. But I can say that in this game, we shall give Arsenal a straight win, because Arsenal, I don't think they're ready to lose this game, whether they die, but they will find ways of scoring actually goals here and they'll win. Whether the match ended in 2-1, but they would actually pick a win in this game. So from my side, that I see that Arsenal lost against Manchester United and survive against Caritas, they will not make any small mistake or slight mistake. They will win this game. So I'm going with a win for Arsenal. Then the second game of the day, this first ticket, it is Chelsea versus West Ham. Talking about my team, but of course, all in all, this Chelsea sits in the 5th positions and West Ham 18th position already inside the red line, that is relegation zone. And these are the teams that you need to always be very careful with them, I always keep saying Chelsea actually won their last 5 games. They won 4. Good performance after sacking their coach. Of course, we hope them took the world champion. But of course, with the one we got, we're not complaining. With the one lost, of course, and West Ham, on the other hand, won 3, lost 2. And of course, these are the teams that are fighting for the relegation, of course, is on not to go, but to maintain it there. But when it comes to Chelsea, of course, got a good record against West Ham. And you find that in the last, of course, 5 meeting head-to-head, Chelsea won 4. And only West Ham managed to pick 1 win against Chelsea in the last 5 meeting. So these are to as well, of course, opposes that Chelsea got upper hand of winning. And Chelsea right now wants not Manchester United to overwin them, though Manchester United is ahead of them in the 4th position. They are fighting for the Champions League spot. I know Chelsea always wants to be in the big cups. Yeah. And because the world champion is not supposed to get relegated, just feel it if you're not a Chelsea fan. But all in all, Chelsea is going to win this game. I cannot bet up against my team for this purpose. That is one. And then 2, we are doing very well. So first, Chelsea is going to beat West Ham. Here, just take it. Straight win for Chelsea. Yeah, so the last game in this very ticket, I'm going to mix up it with a team that I know most people may not like it or like it as well. Let me mix with Hamburg versus Bayern Munich. This is again another team that has disorganized some groups last time, Bayern Munich, but not on Champions League, whereby they survived. They bet, of course, the opponent, yes, 2-1, whereby we had given over, and of course it worked for us. But remember, there's a time when people betted about Bayern Munich lost. So a game before the Champions League on Liga, Bundesliga rather. So Hamburg lost their in the last 5 games. They lost, of course, 3. They drew 2, and of course they sit on the 14th position in that, of course, league. Then Bayern Munich only lost 1, sit fast, of course, in Bundesliga league. Then there's a time that these 2 teams met, and of course Bayern Munich bet Hamburg, that is last, of course, year, the first leg. They bet them 5-0, and of course today they may also as well continue doing the same. We expect Bayern Munich also in this game to win. So the first ticket, we shall go with actually a win-win for these teams, Arsenal, Chelsea and Bayern Munich. That is the first ticket for us for today. And of course, odds, you go with, these are VAPs. You know, their odds is not very big except for Chelsea, but of course for others are quite low. But it's always good to do it that way. Small, but you're sure of this very team. And then now the second ticket is mix up of England National League and Championship that we always mix up with, because we got tomorrow, many games are coming up, and I always say if you want extra out of this, I'm also available. You can inbox me for more if you want this special one. Yes, we said winners never quit. Second one is actually Ipswich versus Preston. That one, of course, you know, in Championship, and Ipswich won their 4 games in the last 5 games, sit 3rd in that leg, and wants to come back. And of course we see how things are moving there. People want to come back to Premier League. You know, living from there, it's not quite easy. It needs a lot of fight. Preston, in the last 5 games, of course, lost 4, and then managed to pick only 1 win and sit 10th position. But if you to look at these 2 teams, Ipswich got upper hand of actually taking also this very game. So we shall play still here. We give Ipswich a win. Today we are going with a win. let's just Columba just like that. Let's just fall for that. But how did these things head? You can say a win, but of course for some teams here I'm going to mix, so don't go about that. She said a win for all of them. No, something is coming up as well. So Ipswich, I'll give them a straight win for this game because they want to top the table. You know, going for a playoff is very tricky. So you better qualify automatically. And of which Middlesbrough, it's also there in the second position. So everyone is not giving a damn in this championship. Very tricky. But of course, it's worth us playing that. And then there are second, of course, in that league. Still, we are going with Middlesbrough versus Norwich City. Now, Middlesbrough sits on the second position. In fact, Ipswich is behind them. And Middlesbrough won their last four games and lost only one. Then Norwich City also won four, lost one. And if you're to look at their head-to-head meeting, Middlesbrough itself has won three and managed to pick two draw. There's a dramatic game in 2024, whereby Middlesbrough and Norwich played, and the game ended 3-3. Run over. This one win 3, then the other one comes from behind and managed to win. Then also there's a match that ended, of course, 1-1 between these two teams, which is actually not bad for them. But all in all, it poses that this is championship. We can try to play a little bit safer and regard Middlesbrough in this game because Norwich sits on the 18th position, but also they like scoring. And I can say that some people may hope to play goal, but for me, my case, I'm going to actually guard Middlesbrough in this game. The last one for today, the last one is Elche versus Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona has to play in this league, has to. I have to pick the Spanish giant right now to be between the championship to boost them. That is what we want to do. So Elche sits on the 12th position and Barcelona just relaxing on the top of La Liga as Real Madrid they struggle and Atletico to pile pressure on this team. But when it comes to Barcelona, I trust them a little bit because for them, even if you see in 50 minutes there's no goal, they try always to score. They try to pile pressure. And of course, you look at the head-to-head, not only the head-to-head. Let me first give you the last 5 games, whereby Barcelona won 4 and managed to pick only 1 draw in the last 5, of course, a game. And Elche did not register any win in the last 5 games, draw 2. Now, there is also that time last year, that is the first leg, whereby the two teams met and the game ended 3-1. Barcelona was at home. They play with Elche. Yes, the match ended 3-1. And of course, today Barcelona is away of home, but nothing much may change. I may still go with my Barcelona to actually beat Elche. Yes, so these are my predictions when it comes to these. I have others. Today we have many tickets for those who may need extra. I got them available. You can inbox. Yes, and you get more extra package because I still have the winning one running. And we say that winners never quit. We always say that if some days, because some people keep asking, I always keep saying that some days are not good, some days are good, but we need to look at how, yes, we play safe. Yes, let's try to actually do the right thing. We play what we can, and which is always good for us. Winners never quit, and I will be posting some on my TikTok. And of course, yesterday also did not end well, but today, hopefully, we shall win that. Yes, winners never quit. I wish you guys the best we can.